Hello, Snarkers! Welcome back. Please hit like and subscribe. I so enjoy our time together. So, I want to talk about the episode Free Range Browns, where the Brown family goes to visit Cody's family in Wyoming. Why for Wyoming? Yeah, Robin, you're brilliant. So, Janelle elects to stay at home an extra day because Hunter has some sort of school thing that he needs to stay home for. And Cody says that he is going to stay an extra day so he can finish some work, and he's quite open about the fact that he wants to have some time to himself. I can't hate on him for that because when you have that many kids and that many wives, you're not going to get a whole lot of alone time. I don't need a lot of alone time, but I do need a little. And I can't imagine if I had that many people in my family. That would be scarce. So, but he does not have the foresight to get their cars checked out before they go. Now, I am not the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree, but I'm all about safety. And when I was going to drive with my family down to Florida and my car had been, seen better days, I took it and got it checked out before we went, just to make sure if there was any little small thing that I needed to take care of so that we wouldn't land on the side of the road. I did it. I'm not even a dude, and I thought to do that. This is a man, a father. At this point, he was a father of 13 kids? Your babies are going to be traveling in cars that you have not had checked out. I don't understand that logic. And even when they're cranking up to leave, Queen Robin's car, the one she's driving, is making an odd ticking sound. And he even says, I don't like that ticking sound. And yet still sends them on their way. I'm telling you, this guy has just not got a whole lot of common sense. And sure enough, they get an hour down the road and boom. I believe it was the motor that blew up, if I'm not mistaken. Pardon. And sure enough, they get an hour down the road and boom, the motor blows up. If I'm not mistaken, it was the motor. And they call Cody and let him know, hey, we're on the side of the road about an hour out of town. Now, what does he do? Does he go rush to their side? No. These are 3 of your wives and a bunch of your kids. I think the only one that stayed at home was Hunter. So, 12 of your kids, 3 of Robin's kids, 15 some odd children on the side of the road with 3 of your wives. And you don't rush out there to make sure they're okay on the side of the freeway? That's a dangerous place. I hate to drive on the freeway, and I'll do anything to get out of it. But if my child and my husband were on the side of the road on the freeway, you better believe I would be there so fast it would make your head spin. I just don't understand this man or his logic. So their trip is delayed. And I know Janelle is sitting at home thinking, oh my God, am I glad I am not there with all this chaos going on. I know I would be, sorry, I would be very happy that I was not involved in all that chaos. So, with one thing and another, they end up getting on the road the next day. They had to reconfigure automobiles, redistribute the children, and they finally get on their way. Now, Cody's father, Win, has a ranch in Wyoming, and that is where he lives with Cody's mother. I believe her name is Janelle, and Janelle's mother, Cheryl. Now, a lot of you already know this. For those who don't, I'll fill you in. When Janelle was considering marrying Cody and becoming a polygamist, her mother was worried that she was getting involved in a cult. So she went out to meet the family, to meet this young man, and see what her daughter was getting into. Lo and behold, she fell in love with Wen, Cody's dad, and ended up marrying him. Now, at the time, Cody's mother, Janelle, said that she struggled with this because she was taking care of the home and doing all these things. And then Cheryl, Janelle's mother, was taking care of Wen. I guess she was the shiny new thing, kind of like Robin was for Cody, and Wen was just mostly interested in enjoying himself with Cheryl. Now it's years later, they're both elderly ladies now, and Wen is quite elderly as well. And apparently, Janelle and Cheryl are best friends. So I guess it can work. Honestly, I do think polygamy could work in the right situation, with the right people, with the right motives. Now, I don't think it would be easy, but I do think it could work. However, you can't have narcissists in the mix. And as far as I'm concerned, Cody is a narcissist and Robin has narcissist tendencies. So when you have that in the mix, that's just not good. It's not going to work. I don't think any relationship is going to work out when that's prevalent, unless it's between a narcissist and a masochist. Just my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right, but I think it is. And they get there, and the kids are all excited. A lot of the kids go and spend their summers there, which I could imagine would be quite fun to go and spend on a ranch. I had a grandfather that had somewhat of a small farm when I was a kid, and I used to spend a lot of time there in the summer, and I had a ball. But, that was me. That was my situation. So the kids are happy to see their grandparents, and one of the little girls, I believe it's Isabel, says to Grandma Cheryl, "Does Grandpa Win live here with you?" when she visits her house, and she says yes, sometimes. Now these houses, let me tell you, I recently rewatched Big Love over the holidays. The houses there on this ranch where Cody's father and his wives live really reminded me of Big Love, where the older characters live, Bruce Dern and his wives on that show. The houses are in states of disrepair, almost dilapidated looking. They need painting, things need fixing. The insides are very old and worn looking. And it really, really reminded me of where those people lived on Big Love. It was kind of shocking at how true to life they got that scenario. And they say, if you don't work, you don't eat. So I guess Baby Truly is just SOL, huh? Robin is going to be staying with Cody's mother to kind of bond with her. And I believe the other moms were going to a hotel. Or maybe it was just Christine and Mary. Like Janelle, I think, was going to stay with her mom. And then Christine and Mary were going to go to a hotel. And I can imagine for the kids it was a lot of fun. Everybody getting together in sleeping bags and staying at Grandma and Grandpa's house and getting to see all the animals. They have horses and cattle. There's also a lot of work to do, but it doesn't seem to me as if the Brown children ever shied away from work. Well, most of them. There might be some exceptions. But everything looks very well, and they're going to go out and ride some horses the next day. And McKelty gets thrown from a horse and is hurt very badly. She's having trouble even standing up. She's hurt so badly. And what is Cody most concerned with? Not his daughter. He is concerned with getting on the horse so that the horse will know they can't just throw someone and get away with it. Now, I don't know anything about horses. That does sound as if there's some logic to it. However, they're on a ranch, and there are ranch hands and his brothers working there. So you mean to tell me nobody else was available to get on that horse and make sure it knew better so that he could attend to his daughter? For somebody that wants so many kids, he never really displayed a lot of interest in their welfare. We'll get into that more later because there are some shining examples of it all throughout this series. But, he gets on the horse because Cody gonna do what Cody gonna do. And thankfully, Grandma Cheryl is a nurse, and she checks out McKelty and decides that yes, they're gonna take her to the hospital. Fortunately, the young lady was okay. No thanks to her father, Cody also really shows off his douchebaggery in this episode by taking his elderly mother's breakfast out from under her. She's holding it on a plate, and he just takes it and takes a big old bite and says, "Yeah, this is how much my mom loves me. She'll let me just take her breakfast." Do you think that made you look cool, Cody? Do you really think that makes you look cool? Because it doesn't. It makes you look like a king royal douchebag. Anyway, my apologies. I get a little hot about that because you definitely need to give your mother more respect than that. She birthed you into this world. And you definitely need to be better towards your kids. One of the nice things in this episode, however, was you got to see them all getting together for a meal after they had all worked hard. They had chili and baked potatoes and a campfire, and it looked very pleasant. You know, one of the good parts about visiting your grandparents. And I'm glad that the kids got to do that and make those memories. God knows those kids need to have some good memories with the shitstorm that is coming their way in a few years. And I would just like to take a moment to let you know that if you are struggling, there are resources out there. Please dial 988 and reach out for help, because you are needed, you are necessary, and you are loved. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.